What do you regret spending money on? Stationery. People just steal your pens and markers. You will save so much more money by just taking pens on floors or ones someone left behind. Star Citizen. Should have thought twice before I got an early access pile of shit. Laying $4,000 down on a semester at university, then having a nervous breakdown and not even attending classes. Chinese food. Every time I get close to the place, they offer me a Cantonese chicken sample and I take it and love it, and then I buy the goddamn chicken and for some reasons is never as tasty. I fall for this twice a month. Penile implant. Please elaborate. Please elongate. Anything I want but don't need. Toys for my kids when they were little. I should have taken them on more adventures instead of cheap plastic toys. Gambling. Sure, it's fun and exciting, but damn is it stupid. A BlackBerry when everyone uses iPhone, Android. Horrible freaking phone. All of the hobbies that I decided to pick up then ditched the next day. Too much weed. Just went up in smoke. My sister's friend's friend needed someone to foster the dog while they were deployed. They dropped him off with "We haven't found a food that agrees with him and here's his seizure medicine. 80-pound pitbull. So we researched it, got him some quality food, hand-prepared lots of meals for him, got him vet care, footed the bills for food and vet care and prescriptions. Owners said we were spending too much money on him. Well, he needs to eat and I'm sorry he has seizures. They still owe us upwards of $1,000, and that doesn't include anything that doggo chewed up or the number of times I cleaned up dog shit after he shit while having a seizure. Definitely an experience, and I love animals, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't absolutely regret it. Also, one time I got McDonald's for my family and I ordered and paid for a 4-piece chicken nugget and it wasn't in the bag. I'm still mad. God. Like 3-4 years ago I stole lots of money from my family, and spent it on useless dolls, who I needed to hide, so my parents wouldn't notice. Now, I regret it so much, as I not only spent money on stupid dolls, but also damaged the relationship with my parents. Dolls, who I needed to hide. That's so many red flags right in a row. Buying coffee every day. An espresso machine. WTF was I thinking? Nestlé operates like Hitler's offshore holding corporation. Do you regret spending money on that silver, gold, and platinum? Video games. I don't finish them and yet I buy more. Fallout 76. College classes for a career path I ended up not taking. Basically any game on Steam that without fail goes on 75% off sale like a week later. Booze. Tons and tons of booze. College. Ark. Played it for 5 minutes. Got frustrated because it doesn't have a tutorial and I didn't know what to do. Closed the game. Uninstalled it. It's sitting in my Steam library since 2017. Damn, I've seen this post before, but that one's got a few upvotes and not a single award. This one is at 100% upvoted and 3 awards. It's all about that timing. Reddit in a nutshell. Most cheap crap that I've impulse bought that turned out to be wasteful. Plants I've neglected. IKEA bins that were the wrong size. Expensive stuff I've never used. But the main one is alcohol. I've paid a fortune to be an embarrassing drunk and ruin my health. All of the drinks I've bought at a store which is literally 2 minutes away from my house, which contains drink. Pretty much every stupid little thing I bought out of impulse cause it seemed fun in the moment. My ex. I honestly wasn't sure if I regretted spending money on anything until this answer. When I was 17 I was dating a 22-year-old that was a lazy shit. I paid his cell phone bill, took his shifts he called out for, we met at work. Drove him everywhere because he didn't have a car, and ended up paying for a ticket he got when he was driving his parents' car. I was working my ass off and could have saved so much money if I dumped the idiot. It took some weird shit happening for me to realize what a piece of shit he was. My untrustworthy friend that never paid me back. A couple years ago I tried using a DJ board for the first time and got it into my head that I should be a DJ. My parents told me it would be a total waste of my money, and lo and behold, I have never used it. That's $400 I'll never get back. Alcohol. I regret spending money on a trip to Vegas. It was fun, but I could have spent that money on a trip to a better city and I would have gotten a lot more bang for my buck. I have really bad impulses when it comes to beauty products. It's been 3 separate occasions now where I bought lipsticks that weren't flattering on me. I can't even return them because I lost the receipt. Pizza. Every time I order pizza and I eat it all, I regret it immediately. Then I have a shit day and do it again. Why don't I have any willpower? My father got me a car. Well, for my birthday my parents paid half, I believe. The car was about $4,000 and it was a 2005 PT Cruiser or something like that. He insisted it was an amazing car, so I put my money into it. It was a lemon. So, this thing needed so many repairs over a 2-year period that my parents and me spent maybe $8,000 on it. Engine fan busted a few times and overheated the car while I was driving it. One day I was parked outside the store and it busted. Called my father and he told me to turn the heater all the way up and open the roof convertible, and I told him that wasn't a good idea because it was 101 degrees outside. He told me to do it anyway. So I did and got 2nd-degree radiation burns on my hands which had blisters for quite a bit. Ended up having to get it towed home. One day me and my sister were coming back from the store and the rear back tire popped while we were driving and making a turn, almost wrecking us. We had the roof down and you can smell burning rubber. I was half a mile from home and maybe 3 from the closest auto shop. I had to put on my hazard lights and try my hardest to get home. My sister was sobbing and I had to stop myself from having a panic attack to get us home. At that point I told him I refused to pay any more money for the car or drive it. Ended up getting a $3,000 car later. It is a 1997 Crown Victoria with less than 5,000 miles on it and only driven by an old lady to and from work. Basically a complete beauty and so easy to drive. Although I ended up having epilepsy and I am not allowed to drive now, but hey, my sister likes it. An engagement ring that ended up going to waste. The last car I had, it was a shitty '09 Saturn Aura hybrid that was perfect until I got it off the lot. Naturally, spent $4,900 on it when it was probably only worth a third of that. I had it for about 6 months when the hybrid engine went out and I started having problems with transmission and the starter and such. Now I have a 2000 Honda Civic that runs amazing and cost $2,000. I love it so much. A book on how to train my dog. He ate it. I should have seen it coming. That one time I poured £10 in an Atome game only to buy the wrong thing and it was too hyped to pay attention and then rage quit it altogether. My marriage and divorce. All the subscriptions to services I don't even use. $10 to $15 a month doesn't sound like much, but when you forget about it, and subscribe to a bunch of other things, it adds up really quickly. I was subscribed to World of Warcraft for 5 years when I wasn't playing the game because I figured I'd get back into it eventually. What a waste of money. Paying credit card interest. Never, ever just pay the minimum unless it's literally all you can afford. Credit cards are basically a way of renting money. Paying more of your bill each month means pay less in the long run. Toys for my kid. They end up broken, lost or outdated within a week or 2. Monster Hunter World. My friend told me it's an awesome game. I booted it up, made my character and killed around 10 enemies and I was like, I hate this, and never looked back. I don't have to say that he doesn't play it either because you need a party to play awesome and I have none and solo is hard. Monster Hunter is one of those series you either love completely and play for hundreds of hours or hate and play for 3 hours. Cocaine. Well, it's good on the night but not when you've got a dirty come down you regret it. Fortnite. It was cool at first but now it's just Fortnite, you know. eHarmony. Waste of money and time. A non-refundable Airbnb reservation for a Valentine's Day trip with my ex. who broke up with me the day before. You, Chris. Got a bearded dragon when I was younger. Thought it would be my cool lizard friend. Those things take a lot of work to get them sociable. If you do anything to break their trust, you can forget having any kind of interaction with them. They'll basically become a glorified goldfish, but significantly drier. Long story short, my ex scared the shit out of it like the first week I had it. Took it out of the terrarium and tried to play with it. It hated me from that day on. Wound up having to get rid of it when I moved to college. BC parents refused to care for it. All in all, not the best money I've ever spent. Nothing really. I've noticed that there's a lot you learn from bad investments. A GoPro. I don't have a GoPro lifestyle. Cigarettes. Oh, the money I have blown on them, and continue to blow on them. The addiction is one thing. The fear of my grumpiness without them is a huge barrier to quitting for me. I need to be thrown on an abandoned island for weeks to quit. A straight razor. I needed to get it sharpened when I got it, but I didn't get around to it, and now I sport a short beard so I'll never get to use it. Less time and money spent on maintenance overall now, I guess. Brew. Sometimes I'll in bed thinking about how I could have spent money better in the past. Sometimes I'll be like, yeah, that box of donuts I bought October 16, 2014. God, I'm so dumb, I could use that $6 today. Oftentimes it's stupid shit like that. I had a best friend whose birthday was in the summer. I got her a $100 gift. After that, about a month before my birthday, we had a huge fight and we haven't been talking since. She didn't even tell me happy birthday. I seem to have a bad habit of being trigger happy when it comes to spending money on games. Whether it's an add-on, customization, or something that can possibly get me ahead, I do it. This habit kind of stems from when I was a sophomore in high school, and because I was so depressed, lonely and in my room all the time, I became extremely addicted to gaming. Once that happened, I'd literally walk miles to a store with PSN cards because I didn't have a debit card or a job at the time. Then when I got my first debit card job, it basically made spending thousands of dollars in that span of 2 years on video games much easier. I've been getting better, but I still make an impulse buy every other week. I'm also in the process of quitting gaming in general as it's hurt my pockets. In-game transactions make money because they prey on people like yourself who struggle not to make purchases. It's an awful practice. I hope one day it gets better regulation. That lunch I got at an Indian place I stumbled on this afternoon. Sometimes you have to take a minute or two and read a review on Yelp or Google. Would have warned me. I chose Mario Kart over Breath of the Wild. I stopped playing Mario Kart after a month. Magic: The Gathering. A mobile game which its server shut down after I loaded some money in. Feels bad. I was getting good at that game and yet. The Vault Power M. It wasn't that good. All the books I bought, didn't read, and now have no desire of reading anymore because my tastes changed. A lot of items of clothing that cost a lot of money but I just don't wear. Spending money on my ex. This includes going up to see her each month, giving her money if she needed it, buying her things, and when I lived there with her helping out at the flat. Regular Uber Eats. Everyone else and not doing a thing to even cheer myself up. I took care of others instead myself, basically. My parents had made a savings for me that I chose to basically spend on going out and drinking when I was around 21. It had around $15,000 in it, and it was gone in about 2 years. I could really have used that money later in my 20s. But I learned that I'm a dumbass and that I have to keep my impulses in check. My first car was brand new. I had a phenomenal job as a teenager and I paid $25,000 over 1 year to get that car. Totally not worth it. Haven't bought a car over $6,000 since. And I would have much rather saved or invested that cash. Water and food. Why am I still alive? 20 years of drinking in bars. Reddit Premium. Anthem. All the unnecessary food I've bought this year. Almost $1,000 worth of junk food, expensive chocolate. Mostly. When I was a kid, most of the toys I've bought, so ephemeral in terms of use and satisfaction. Some real-life money in some mobile games. This is the worst, haha. I bought a lot of craft supplies I only ended up using once or twice. I thought it was going to be a big hobby, but it was just a short obsession that quickly passed. On an unrelated note, if anybody needs a wood-burning kit, let me know. Probably in-game currencies. I bought a booster box for Magic: The Gathering last Christmas. Problem is, I have no friends to actually play with, and just opening the packs as opposed to using them for draft or sealed games feels sacrilegious. So I've got a $200 box just gathering dust on my bookshelf, waiting for 30+ years from now when there might be a very slight chance that it'll be worth something. Certain video games. Being a fat guy, I love food. I've probably spent a lot on fast food. What the hell was still is the matter with me? I bought Tinder Gold about a year ago and it literally caused me to have less matches. I cancelled it after the 6 months when it was over. Now I don't get the benefits, and about 2 weeks ago I got charged for it again, even though I cancelled. All of Tinder's customer service is inactive except for the automated system, and it requires a receipt number in order to get a refund, which I never got emailed to me, because I cancelled my Gold. Gotta love it. My bank told me they can't give me the money back, and that my best option was to just get a new card. In the end, it hurt me more than it helped and cost me way more than I expected.